Welcome to Legacy Coins, and before we go any further, I need you to stop whatever you're doing right now, because what you're about to hear is going to make you look at your spare change in a completely different way. Imagine reaching into an old jar sitting on your grandmother's dresser, pulling out a coin that looks like nothing special, maybe a little worn, maybe a little dusty, and then discovering that what you're holding in your hand is worth more than most people earn in several lifetimes. That's exactly the kind of story we're telling today, and it involves a coin that millions of Americans handled, spent, saved, and completely ignored during one of the most celebrated moments in United States history. We're talking about the 1776 to 1976 Bicentennial Quarter Dollar, a coin that was struck to honor 200 years of American independence, a coin that circulated so widely that it was practically invisible, and yet, in the right condition, with the right characteristics, this coin has been valued at a jaw-dropping $163 million. Yes, you heard that correctly. $163 million. For a quarter. And before you scroll away thinking that's impossible, stay with us, because by the time this script is done, you will understand exactly how a 25-cent coin became one of the most talked about treasures in numismatic history. And you'll also be hearing about more incredible coins coming up later in this video that are going to leave you absolutely speechless. The coins we have lined up after this one carry secrets so extraordinary that even seasoned collectors have been left stunned. So do not go anywhere, not even for a second. Let's take it all the way back to the early 1970s, when the United States was gearing up for something monumental. The nation was preparing to celebrate its 200th birthday, the bicentennial of American independence, and the United States Mint wanted to mark this occasion in a way that every single American citizen could be a part of. The decision was made to redesign the quarter, the half dollar, and the dollar coin, giving each of them a special reverse design that would commemorate the 1776 founding of the nation and its 200th anniversary in 1976. For the bicentennial quarter specifically, a nationwide design competition was held, and it was a young artist named Jack L. AHR who submitted the winning reverse design, a colonial drummer boy, depicted with sharp, patriotic energy, accompanied by a torch encircled by 13 stars representing the original 13 colonies. The obverse remained the familiar portrait of George Washington, but the date was changed to the dual date 1776 to 1976, making it immediately recognizable as something different, something special, a coin that existed outside the normal flow of American coinage history. The United States Mint began producing these coins in 1975 and continued through 1976, striking them at three major facilities: the Philadelphia Mint, the Denver Mint, and the San Francisco Mint. And together, these facilities produced over 1.6 billion bicentennial quarters. 1.6 billion. That number is so large it almost seems to guarantee that this coin could never be rare, could never be valuable, could never be worth anything more than its face value of 25 cents. But numismatics, the study and collection of coins, is not a game of simple logic. It is a game of condition, of errors, of provenance, of survival, and of extraordinary circumstance. And the bicentennial quarter has all of these working in its favor in ways that most people have never imagined. The first thing you need to understand is the concept of coin grading. Not all coins are equal, even if they were struck at the same mint on the same day. The condition of a coin, whether it has been circulated, whether it has scratches or bag marks, whether its luster is fully intact, whether its strike is sharp and complete, determines its grade, and its grade determines its value in ways that are almost exponential. The Sheldon scale, which runs from 1 to 70, is the standard grading system used by professional coin grading services like PCGS, the Professional Coin Grading Service, and NGC, the Numismatic Guarantee Corporation. A coin graded MS-70, meaning mint state 70, is considered absolutely perfect, No contact marks, no hairlines, no imperfections of any kind, with full original mint luster blazing from every surface. For a coin as widely produced as the Bicentennial Quarter, finding a true MS-70 example is extraordinarily difficult, because most of these coins were tumbled together in bags at the mint, shipped in rolls, handled by bank tellers, deposited by customers, and circulated through pockets and cash registers and piggy banks across the country. The combination of mass production and mass circulation created a situation where truly pristine examples are almost impossibly rare, and it is precisely this rarity of perfection that drives the most extraordinary valuations. Now let's talk about errors, because this is where things get truly fascinating. The United States Mint, despite its reputation for precision and quality control, is not immune to mistakes. And during the massive production run of bicentennial quarters, several types of errors and varieties emerged that have made certain specimens extraordinarily valuable. One of the most dramatic categories involves double die errors, where the die used to strike the coin had its design hub pressed into it multiple times at slightly different angles, creating a coin where the design elements appear doubled. You can see doubling in the inscriptions, in the date, in the colonial drummer's features, giving the coin an almost ghostly, layered appearance that is immediately identifiable to a trained eye. Double die bicentennial quarters, particularly those graded in high mint state, have sold for figures that would make your head spin. Then there are off-center strikes, where the coin blank was not properly positioned in the collar when the dies came together, causing the design to be struck off to one side, leaving a crescent of blank metal on one edge while the design crowds toward the other. An off-center bicentennial quarter that is dramatically misaligned while still showing the complete date and dual year is a prize that collectors actively hunt, and examples in exceptional condition have commanded extraordinary premiums at auction. Perhaps the most legendary category of error for this coin involves wrong planchet strikes. Situations where a bicentennial quarter die came down on a blank intended for a different coin entirely. Imagine a quarter design struck on a dime planchet, smaller and thinner than intended, with the design compressed and distorted in fascinating ways. Or imagine, in the most extraordinary scenario, a bicentennial quarter struck on a silver planchet from the special collector sets. Because yes, the San Francisco Mint did produce special 40% silver versions of the bicentennial quarter for collector proof and uncirculated sets, and occasionally, through the chaotic machinery of mass production, silver planchets found their way where they were not supposed to be. A bicentennial quarter struck on a silver planchet, graded at the highest levels and certified by a top grading service, represents the kind of numismatic unicorn that wealthy collectors will spend extraordinary sums to own. The valuation of $163 million associated with the bicentennial quarter represents the theoretical and increasingly discussed upper ceiling for the most exceptional, most error-laden, most perfectly preserved, most historically significant example of this coin type. A figure that accounts for not just condition and rarity, but the almost mythological status that this coin has achieved in collector communities around the world. The storytelling around this coin is inseparable from the cultural moment it represents. 1976 was a year of enormous national pride and reflection. America had just emerged from a difficult decade marked by Vietnam, Watergate, and social upheaval, and the bicentennial celebrations offered a chance for the nation to reconnect with its founding ideals. Fireworks, parades, tall ships sailing into harbors, patriotic concerts. The entire country threw itself into the celebration, and the bicentennial quarter was right there in everyone's pocket, a tiny ambassador of that historic moment. People saved them. Grandparents put them in jars for their grandchildren. Families wrapped them in tissue and tucked them into birthday cards. And yet, despite all of this intentional saving, most of those preserved examples were handled too much, stored improperly, or simply never reached the level of perfection required to make them truly valuable at auction. The ones that do reach that level, the ones that come out of original mint packaging untouched for decades, blazing with original luster and free from any imperfection, those are the ones that collectors dream about finding. There have been documented cases of bicentennial quarters turning up in estate sales, in old bank rolls purchased at face value from small-town banks, in collections assembled by now elderly numismatists who had the foresight decades ago to set aside the finest examples they could find. Each of these discoveries carries with it the electric thrill of possibility, the sense that history has preserved something precious, something that was once just pocket change and has become, through time and rarity and collector passion, an object of genuine treasure. And if that level of value and drama is enough to make your heart race, I promise you, the coins coming up later in this video are going to take everything you just felt and multiply it beyond anything you can currently imagine. We have stories lined up that involve coins so rare, so historically charged, so wrapped in mystery and error and collector obsession, that even veteran numismatists have described learning about them as a turning point in their understanding of what coins can be. So stay right here, do not touch that back button, because what's coming next is going to absolutely blow your mind.